Ford Motor Company has built some of the most legendary muscle cars to ever tear up American roads. From the golden era of the 1960s to today's supercharged monsters, these blue oval beasts have defined what it means to be fast. Today, we're counting down the 10 fastest Ford muscle cars ever created. Machines that turned gasoline into pure adrenaline and cemented Ford's place in automotive history. Let's get into it. At number 10 is the 1969 Ford Torino Cobra. The 1969 Torino Cobra was Ford's answer to the mid-size muscle car wars, and it came out swinging. Under the hood sat the legendary 428 Cobra Jet engine pumping out 335 horsepower, though everyone knew that number was seriously underrated. This beast could hit 60 miles per hour in just 6.3 seconds and rip through the quarter mile in the high 13-second range. With its aggressive styling and ram air induction, the Torino Cobra was a street fighter that looked as mean as it performed. At number 9 is the 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 429. The Boss 429 was never really about street racing. It was built to qualify Ford's NASCAR engine for competition. But that doesn't mean it wasn't absolutely brutal on the street. The massive 429 cubic inch semi-Hemi engine produced an advertised 375 horsepower, but real-world dyno testing suggested it was closer to 500. 0 to 60 came in around 6.8 seconds, and the quarter mile disappeared in the low 14. These cars are extremely rare today, and worth a fortune to collectors who understand what they're looking at. At number 8 is the 2004 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra, the Terminator. Cobra earned its nickname for one simple reason: it terminated the competition. Ford's special vehicle team supercharged the 4.6-liter V8 to produce 390 horsepower and a massive 390 pound-feet of torque. This thing could hit 60 in just 4.5 seconds and blast through the quarter mile in the high 12s bone stock. What made it even more impressive was that Ford drastically underrated the power figures, with many producing well over 400 horsepower at the wheels. It was the first modern Mustang that could genuinely embarrass cars costing twice as much. At number 7 is the 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 302. Built to dominate Trans Am racing, the Boss 302 was a precision instrument designed for the road course, but absolutely capable on the street. The high-revving 302 cubic inch V8 produced 290 horsepower and loved to scream all the way to its 6,000 RPM redline. It could hit 60 miles per hour in 6.9 seconds and run the quarter mile in the mid-14s. What set the Boss 302 apart wasn't just straight-line speed, but its handling prowess, making it one of the most balanced muscle cars of the era. Today, original Boss 302s are among the most valuable classic Mustangs you can find. At number 6 is the 2014 Ford Shelby GT500. When Ford wanted to build the most powerful production Mustang ever, they went absolutely nuclear with the 2013 to 2014 GT500. The supercharged 5.8-liter V8 unleashed a monstrous 662 horsepower and 631 pound-feet of torque. This American muscle car could demolish the 0 to 60 sprint in just 3.5 seconds and charge through the quarter mile in 11.6 seconds at over 125 miles per hour. It had a top speed of 202 miles per hour, making it the fastest Mustang Ford had ever built at the time. The supercharger whine alone was worth the price of admission. At number 5 is the 1967 Ford Fairlane 427. The 1967 Fairlane, equipped with the legendary 427 side-oiler engine, was an absolute monster that most people forget about today. This big block beast produced 425 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque, numbers that were actually honest, unlike most muscle car claims of the era. It could hit 60 in the low 6-second range and run the quarter mile in the high 13s. These cars were purpose-built drag racing machines that just happened to be street legal. Finding one today is like discovering buried treasure in your grandfather's garage. At number 4 is the 2020 to 2022 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. The modern GT500 is what happens when Ford's engineers are given a blank check and told to build something absolutely insane. The supercharged 5.2-liter V8 cranks out a mind-bending 760 horsepower and 625 pound-feet of torque. With the optional carbon fiber track pack, this beast hits 60 miles per hour in just 3.3 seconds and tears through the quarter mile in 10.6 seconds at 129 miles per hour. It's not just fast in a straight line either. With sophisticated suspension and aerodynamics that make it lethal on a road course. This is American muscle car technology at its absolute peak. At number 3 is the 1968 Ford Mustang 428 Cobra Jet. The 1968 Cobra Jet Mustang changed everything for Ford's pony car. After getting embarrassed by the competition for years, Ford dropped the 428 Cobra Jet engine into the Mustang, and suddenly they had a giant killer. Rated at a laughable 335 horsepower, dyno testing showed these engines made well over 400 horses. They could hit 60 in 5.9 seconds and run the quarter mile in the low 14s completely stock. When car and driver tested one, they called it the fastest running pure stock in the history of man. That's the kind of reputation that lasts forever. At number 2 is the 2024 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. The latest Dark Horse Mustang proves that Ford hasn't forgotten how to build a proper muscle car for the modern era. The naturally aspirated 5.0-liter Coyote V8 produces 500 horsepower, or 541 with the available performance pack. This thing can hit 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds and run the quarter mile in the low 11s. What makes it special isn't just the raw power, but the sophisticated chassis dynamics, massive Brembo brakes, and magnetic dampers that make it feel like a proper sports car. It's proof that even in the age of electric vehicles, Ford knows how to build something that stirs the soul. Taking the number 1 spot is the 2025 Ford Mustang GTD. This is essentially a road-legal GT3 race car that Ford is building in limited numbers. The supercharged 5.2-liter V8 produces over 800 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque. It features a carbon fiber body, active aerodynamics, semi-active suspension, and a rear-mounted transaxle for perfect weight distribution. Ford claims it will lap the Nürburgring in under 7 minutes, which would make it faster than supercars costing 3 times its price. With an estimated 0 to 60 time in the low 3-second range and quarter-mile times in the low 10s, the GTD represents the absolute pinnacle of what Ford can build. This is automotive engineering pushed to its limits. So there you have it, 10 Ford muscle cars that'll make your insurance agent cry and your wallet file for bankruptcy. Whether you're Team Vintage American Iron or Team Modern Supercharged Madness, Ford's been building tire-shredding monsters for over half a century.